So it's been like a couple days since I finished Carnival by Rawi Hage, and I still can't wrap my head around it. And I just watched Jason's video on Hello Hemlock, and I'd watched Jessica's before that, and I'm still confused because this is an interesting one. I really don't read adult books that much. I do, but they always take me a while, and I know that I need to take my time with them. Like with this one, it took me almost 10, 11 days. And with me, I'm used to reading a book in like a day or two, but that's mostly because I read by authors a lot, and just with the stories, I don't have to invest so much of myself into it. With this one, though, it felt more like let me get to know Fly, the narrator, and his anonymity in the world. And I just thought it was so interesting how he viewed himself as a taxi driver and how he viewed the world around him. And especially with this, the one I have, it's just the blue cover and the yellow taxi. And I love that. I like the one that you guys have, Jason. I like your copy because it's very colorful and it looks like the carnival like that you described, in that you thought it was more Brazil like. But with me, this novel reminded me a lot of New York, especially with this yellow taxi and all the yellow taxis that are always everywhere in the city. And just because all of the people that he described meeting were very, just characters that you would might walk by on a regular day, but you will never really, think of later on in life. And it's just the whole crime aspect of the novel also struck a chord in that we hear about crime all the time. And, it's like, oh my God, I'm so sad that that happened to that person, but you don't let it stress you out as much, I guess. And with Fly being like partaking in the crime kind of for a bit, it was interesting in that we get to see his like ideas of what he thought about it. I just thought it was very interesting, and his whole obsession with Zainab, was that her name? And it was like, yeah, it's very like misogynistic how he viewed her and how he became kind of like a stalker, kind of wanting to know a lot about her. But it made me more intrigued, to learn more about her. So I kind of, became him in that moment. I was like, what is it about her that is so intriguing? And like, when you find out about her and her lady friend later on in the book, you're like, it's like, oh, is that it? Or is there more to the story? But I thought that his background was very interesting and that he came from like a circus setting, but then throughout the novel, and like I love that it was set up in like acts. Just the whole reading experience was so interesting to me because it's like, what did it difference these acts? Like, why did he split it up in this way? And I thought that it was interesting that he just decided to do that, but then also like at the end, the whole description of all these crimes that had happened, it's like, why did he decide to do that? So I just like was like very intrigued by this author. And when it comes to the Canadian aspect of it, since I'm not Canadian, I didn't really attribute it as to being Canadian. I feel like if I I want to go to Canada even more now because I'm like to see what aspects of Montreal, like you guys said, um, to see what aspects of Canada he did bring into it. Because right now, all I'm thinking about is like city life, and the only city that I've lived in is New York. So that's what I think about. But yeah, I think it was very eye opening in that, like, I like it made me think. So I think, yeah, if you haven't read this or heard of this author, you guys should give it a try because it made me think, and I think that's always good. Let's talk about this in the comments, and feel free to ask me any questions you might have, or yeah. Bye, guys.